Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Lines Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 here in the north, ending with Team 2 in the south. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit so we don't miss any of that early action. Starting off with the northeasternmost player on Team 1 on his own little island. It is Zelby, L-L-I-K-O-B, or Cobb. Don't know how to pronounce the middle part of his name, but we'll go with Zelby for short, going first land as a Seraphim in Snow White, very much blending into his environment, and he is a 1600. In his west, in Pac-Man Yellow, we have Wi-Fi going first land as a Cybran. He is a 2200, tied for the highest rated player in this game, and is the highest rated player on Team 1. And again, he is in Pac-Man Yellow. To his south west a little bit in the front line position, we have in glow in the dark green Limes, not a real 2K, gonna call him Limes for short, going first land as the second Cybran here for Team 1. He is a 1900. To his northwest in forest green, very sensible color and faction here for literal, he is a UEF, and he is a 1600, the lowest ranked on Team 1. And it's very weird to say 1600 as the lowest rank, but sometimes it does happen in these higher rated games. And last but not least, here on Team 1 in the northwest position, we have Rydor going first land as a UEF as well, and he is a 1900 in ruby red. So for Team 1 side of things, we have two Cybran in the middle, two UEF to the west, and a Seraphim in the east. No Aeon technology here for Team 1. Starting off with the opposite position of Zelby in the southwest, we have in lightish red pink the Calm of Azathoth. He's going first land as a Cybran. He is an 1800, and again, he is in lightish red pink. For the first orange color, this one specifically the rust color, it is Nuggets going first land as the first Aeon of the game. So all four factions, at least in some degree or another, are represented in this game. He is a 2200, the highest rated player on Team 2 in general, and tied for the highest rated player opposite Wi-Fi. And again, he is in Rust going first land. Already on the move here for is Nasimka going first land as a Seraphim. He is in orange, the color orange, of course, not to be confused with the orange, the fruit orange. He is going second air as well, and he is an 1800. In the rear two positions here, starting with the westernmost player in the rear two positions, we have Betaji Savo Pokan. I'll call him BSP for short, or Betaji for short, going first land, probably second air most likely. He is a Seraphim as well, and he is in lightish, not lightish red pink, he is in light oak tan. And in the last position here for Team 2, it is Deli going first land as the second Aeon here in the game and on Team 2. He's in Chevy Crimson, and he is also an 1800 in this game. 3 1800s here on Team 2. So for Team 2 side of things, we have 2 Aeon, 2 Seraphim, and 1 Cybran. So Team 2 does not have access to the UEF technology. Team 1 does not have access to the Aeon technology. We'll see how that unfolds as time goes on. Let's take a look at the reclaim still currently on the map before our players scoop it up. It is 12,000 reclaim. So about a little bit over 1.2k per players. Not a terrible amount, but also we have seen a lot more. So our players will take what they can get, of course. And in terms of mass point layouts, well, what the map lacks in reclaim mass, it definitely makes up for in mass points. We have a quad mechs position over here, obviously an opposite one over here. Another quad mechs position here for the rear guard air player. Nice grouping of mass here in the west. Actually, that's a ton of mass here. Just in the west, we have 5, 6, 9, 10 just in the highlighted section that I have outlined. So a lot of mass on the edges of the map. There is a couple of mass points in the middle, and one, the centralmost mexes are these. They are opposite this very interesting formation of mountains. I think you can probably get a couple of units through the, well, not the middle, but almost the middle section. So it's not a direct shot, but players will still have to watch out for that little bit of flanking maneuver. But of course, players who send units through there have to watch out because they will bottleneck very easily. So usually maybe only T1 units for the time being. Maybe we'll see a couple of T3 spies go in, but nothing too crazy. So let's speed the game back up 2-0 and get this party started. In terms of both teams, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of the comms moving to the north for Team 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I do not see the fifth one. Oh, he's hidden it because he is Snow White. He is hiding. All 5 comms at least making some movement to the south. It does look like the westernmost player of Dora is a little bit slower on the upkeep, but it's staying relatively in line to where his opponent of Delhi is, or at least his mirror is. And we already see those early bombers out here for Team 2. This one is out for Nuggets, trying to go after some Team 1 engineers roaming the western section of the map. As a nice air scout to guide him. We also see a transport out from Team 2's Azathoth to get some nice expansions. Going for that quad mechs position, which he might be able to keep for the time being. And we do see Nuggets, he might be able to cover for him. We'll just have to see what Team 1 decides to do. Bomber is inbound, takes out a engineer here. I think that is the first official kill of the game here at 4 minutes. Gonna circle around and takes out that second engineer. Definitely gonna hurt Team 1's ability to expand. Taking out that hydro definitely hurts the early energy expansion game. We do see a lot of expansion coming out from Team 1 as well in the east. Not a lot of bombers though that you would kind of expect. And we see transports also dropping off very frontline engineers and a facility now constructed here for Azathoth. I think his goal is to just keep Team 1 at bay for as long as possible and just continue to fall back and fall back. We even see that comm. The comm is going to go straight for that western position as well. So even if this position falls, or at least is under heavy firepower, the comm will be able to get some nice veterancy out of that, of course. We do see Little just kind of running around here in the western section. I would like to see him either go straight for the middle or at least curve a little bit to the west to help cover for this western player here of Redora. We see in the east, comms are starting to collide. At least, they're out by a little bit. But we'll see them as time goes on. A lot of Russian in this chat. Of course, we do have at least one Russian player that I know of in the game. And well, actually, now 2 of them that I know of. Jadora is another one. So we'll see those conversations. Most of the time when I ask for translations, I at least get somebody that responds. So I do thank you. Appreciate that. I wish there was an auto translation feature in the chat. But, we all wish for things that sometimes don't come true, so that'll just have to be one of those things for now. We do see a lone little bomber in the east here for Delhi. Going to go after this rear guard air slot player of Team 1, Zelby. He is at least the de facto air player for the time being. He has not built an air facility, though, which is very, very surprising. Hasn't actually built any air facilities. That is very weird. You would feel like the isolated player in the northeast or in the southwest, depending on how you look at it, would just be the air player, but I guess not. Maybe there was a conversation earlier on. We do see T2 Air online here for Wi-Fi, so maybe he is the air player. Is it the same for Team 2? No. We do see one air facility. We don't see any over here. Well, there is one air, but it's not upgrading as we speak. So it does look like Team 1 has the advantage with T2 Air here at 6 minutes. Gun range going on the way very far forward here for Nuggets. The Calm of Limes is very close by. We see a little bit of pressure coming off of one Mantis, but Limes will be at a disadvantage. He has 10,000 hit points versus the 11,000 hit points of Nuggets. And those two will engage, and if both of them fire at the same rate for the same amount of damage, Limes will die. If they keep firing till 0 hit points, and Nuggets will end up dying due to the explosive nature of the comms in this game. So it's going to be, again, a murder-suicide situation. If Nuggets is not careful, he is pulling his forces off of the west, which does give an opportunity for Little to come in to assist. And they would love to grab the highest rated player in this game very early on. And so, like an opportunity like that does not come every so often. So taking it while you have it is definitely the course of action that I would take, especially with some assistance. It does look like the range upgrade is done, and now he's pushing back Limes to the east. Little is coming in and boxing in his forces to the north. I see a huge amount of pressure here coming from Azathoth, expanding very, very aggressively here in the west. And he has 51 mass per second, which is pretty good considering they're all Team 1 mechs. He's not really focusing on upgrading. He's more focusing on just expanding as much as he can, upgrading back to front, and then obviously just taking the spoils and run. We do see a central line starting to form a little bit in the east, but in the west, it is definitely Team 2's huge advantage. A very, very huge advantage. We do see Nuggets again being very aggressive, using that range upgrade to kind of keep Limes at bay. If Team 1 wants to knock him out of this position, Little has to come in and assist. Lime starts to go in around the comm and go after these Team 1 units for some nice veterancy. He's only at almost 400. We do see a horde of Team 1 Mantis inbound. Will Nuggets stay or not? Looks like Nuggets is focused on his upgrade. He will cancel that upgrade and he will drop severely very quickly. He is completely surrounded by Team 1 forces. Lime's trying to get out of range, of course, trying to get out of there as fast as he can. Nuggets is in the red, sub 1,500 hit points, and he is DED. The comm of Team 2's highest rated player of Nuggets is dead. And that will be credited to Limes' very, very good play here. GG, says Nuggets. That was a good, I would not say good game. I'd say good move, at least at the minimum. You had Limes distract the comm and going around while his chassis was facing this way, and then all of his units came in from the northeast, essentially enveloping that comm and killing him off very quickly. So great move on Limes' part, and does explain why he is, of course, also a 1900. So Team 2's, let's see, orange player of Nasimka will inherit the base in the west from Nasimka. Nasimka inherits it from Nuggets. There we go. And we do see a little bit of a run by here in the northeast, going after some Team 1 Mechs here, these little Thams, trying to take out some of those Mechs, but we do see a T2 Renegade online here for Wi-Fi. Those will deal with those Thams very, very quickly. And we do see a nice pinching attack down the middle, but unfortunately we have units coming in to intercept, and the comm is right next door. Those are not really going anywhere. He is halfway to 1 veterancy. He'll get probably 2/3 if he's lucky to that first star veterancy. Stealth on the way here for Azathoth. He already has gun, so he's probably going to go for nano after that. T2 Pigeon coming online today for him. Again, very far forward, and it's going to reclaim a couple of those facilities to just scoop up the mass and use it for other pursuits. He isn't going air, and no one on Team 2. Oh, this is going to be an interesting development. Team 2 doesn't look like they have any sort of air player. I see land, nothing here, and nothing here. So Team 2 is kind of down an air player, which is very, very, very strange here. Especially in a high-ranked game like this, you want at least 1 dedicated air player, if not 2. But there is a lot of forward momentum in terms of land on Team 2, so you want to kind of hem that while you can. So 1 air player should suffice for now. But no air player for Team 2. Definitely will side with Team 1 as the time progresses, especially at 10 minutes. Already having T3 air and going for that first T3 P-Gen. A nice group of Team 1 tanks in the form of these Thams with some assisting ISILs and some Zui in the rear. Comm of Wi-Fi does not even have gun on board. It does take a couple of shots to take out each Tham, but is getting his veterancy up very, very nicely. We do see the commando-led force here for Nasimka pushing forward with a bunch of intel. And we do see him, what this allows him to do is gives us a nice readout of what's going on in the west and in the north. And we see all that the radar facility did pick up those units on inbound. I don't know if that was a radar or not right here. But also what that allows him to do is essentially have an early warning system of, oh, I lost intel. Oh, those are units. Oh, I should run. That's like the line of thinking that he probably goes through. At least what I think he goes through. He's going for speed and range, going very, very quickly on that upgrade. Has some engineers for a lot of support. Sent his units back to just use his comm for main battle tank. We do see those units coming out from Limes, trying to poke through this western side. Of course, Nuggets has been defeated. So a lot of APM in the middle is kind of just divided between the west and the middle east, essentially. The Midwest is kind of a sore spot here for Team 2 right now. Whereas we see Team 1 is pushing up on the west. Sorry, Team 2 is pushing up on the west. Team 2 is also pushing up in the east with some assistance from Team 2's Beta G and also Deli. Deli is pushing forward. Zelby is trying to hold him off with T2 Uttashalas, which are very good at taking out Team 1 units, but unfortunately with the horde of T2 Blazes and a couple of Asylums, at least 1 at the minimum. But Deli is definitely going to force back Zelby here on this eastern side, and it's not looking good here for Team 1 in the land game in terms of right now, but once those bombers should be starting to pop out here pretty soon, ASFs are the main course for the day here for Team 1's air player of Wi-Fi, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a bomber or 2 kind of just be spammed out very quickly and go after, you know, outlying facilities or even core facilities. We'll see as time goes on. We see in the west, Azathoth beating down Tridor. He's going for a nano upgrade with gun on board. We'll have some nice vision on that commander so he can start shooting at him. Once that nano finishes, he'll be able to rep up quite nicely, but he has some issues with some well, nasty little, I saw a missile somewhere. Yeah, there's some Vipers inbound to that comm. Comm is suffering a lot of hit point damage. He is getting 50 hit points a second now to be able to regen pretty quickly. I mean, versus a Cybern comm, not as much. But, again, 50 is definitely better than 10 for sure. And we see the comm in the east here for Delhi pushing Zelby essentially into the water. I didn't make mention of this a little bit. There is some water on this map, so comms can be hiding in corners and on edges of the map. But there's not a lot. Nice Bedaji and Nasimka fighting against no one while their opponents are doing T3 air. I mean, that's not a... I mean, yeah, that's good for Team 2, but again, they don't have air. Team 2 does not have air, so... once T3 air starts to be a huge, presence here for Team 1, that's really going to hurt as time goes on. Yeah, you can kind of fight that with some T2 flak, but that only works for a certain period of time. After that, not pointless isn't the word that I would use, just not as effective is probably the word that I would use. But a huge counterattack in the north here from Team 1's Dradora. He has a nice force edging on the western side while his main force and his comm is pushing back as it's thought here in the west, or at least the far west. Taking out some Cerberus. Cerberus are just known for tickling their opponents, not really much of anything else, because they're good for Team 1 units, and good is a strong word. They're fine for T2. T1. T2, not so much. T3 at land facility online here for Nasimka with that dual base income. Definitely that upgrade went by a lot quicker. We do see T2 air facility now on the way here for Bedaji. He's going straight for T3, trying to fight his way with that. But in terms of ecos between these two players, we have Wi-Fi only at 46. Is he having his power issues? No, he doesn't have. Oh wow, only 46 mass. That's kind of low, to be honest with you. And he's producing more facilities. Great. We have Bedaji at 100. He'll be able to produce a lot more units a lot quicker as time goes on. So Team 1's Wi-Fi, short stacking it for his team in terms of mass per second. He's actually the lowest mass income player in the game at 45. Really weird. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or it's by accident or whatever the case may be, but that's very, very weird. We see a couple of fire beetles. Are they stealthed up? Yes, they are. They have a suicide weapon, EMP weapon, transportable, and cloaking, so they're able to hide from vision. And in the east, Zelby has been defeated by Bedaji, probably with some assistance coming out from Delhi. It was probably T2 gunships, maybe even T3 bombers. Do we see? No. Maybe those are those are definitely Volthus, I would assume. Though it does look like Team 1 has lost their first player in this game. It is Zelby. Wi-Fi will inherit all of that. And now Wi-Fi went from the lowest mass-producing player on Team 1 to the highest. And actually almost the highest in-game overall. Just barely edging out Nasimka for a little bit. We have some T2 units underneath some shield coverage taking out some T2 mass extractors. And now we have Wi-Fi, personally coming in at least over to the east a little bit. So that will definitely juice up Team 1's air player. And we have a strap bomber over the top going after Nasimka's comm. Nasimka is running around trying to evade this T2 force coming out here from Limes. In the west, it looks like it's more of a back and forth in the west between these red and lightish red players in the between, Tridora and Azathoth. And the comm of Nasimka is pretty surrounded with some rhinos and Team 1 Mantis. Nasimka dropping below 3,000 hit points, and he is DED. Fire beetles come in and just annihilate the rest of those hit points. Limes gets the credit for that kill, of course, with some assistance from Wi-Fi. And that is now a 4v3 in favor of Team 1 at 17 minutes in this game. Everything transferred over to Azathoth, and I would not be surprised if Bedaji gets at least some of this. Maybe this couple of frontline facilities or something. But now Team 2 needs to rethink their strategy. They've lost 2 of their 5 comms. And their third one, it's not going to lose immediately. But Tridora, doing his best to stave off this incoming threat, wants to deal with this hydro plant. It is a hydrocarbon power plant. It's in the way. Lots of incoming missiles for that comm. We have T2 units in form of blazes and rhinos just punishing him constantly in that western side of the map. T3 air, of course, is online and is now producing some actually those are engineers, not ASFs. They're going to start spamming out an air grid. Unfortunately, though, because it's farther forward, it does allow for more protection in terms of Wi-Fi than it does for strategy. But we'll see if that ends up being a hindrance or not. But it does look like the bomber here for Team 1's Wi-Fi is doing a lot of work here. 56 kills, 3-star veterancy, almost 15,000 mass killed. Most definitely paid for itself and then some. A couple of lightning tanks are able to shoot at it for a little bit, drop the health down a decent amount. And another T2 Mechs is gone. Team 2 is losing eco. Not super quickly, but enough to where it's kind of a concern. Team 1 is short stacking at 200 mass less per second for Team 1. It's well, it's now dropping a little bit now. But it was 560 to essentially 360, so it wasn't great. And now we can see the influence Team 2 is having a huge push out from the east. They're inside here for Delhi and for Betaji. And in the west, we have Azathoth holding ground pretty well. He lost, I think this is that frontline position. Tridor is trying to force back Azathoth, but there's only so much he can do. T3 units making their way onto the field here for him for some nice defense using bricks instead of loyalists. Super tanky, very annoying to deal with, and also have torpedoes. So, you know, that's always fun. We do see a squadron of T2 and mix of T2 and T3 gunships here coming out in the east for Wi-Fi. Going to start assassinating some mass points going after this T2. That is a lot of mass. If he doesn't get that under control, it's going to hurt very, very quickly. Are they going to go straight for the comm? Voltus get annihilated by some flak, so those gunships will have to retreat. They'll just be satisfied with outlying facilities here. A huge group of T2 units underneath, a lot of shield coverage. We do see even T3 sniper bots in the mix. There's a lot of units. We have Ascendants, we have Blazes, we have Asylums, we have sniper bot? Redeemers, we have... I thought those were sniper bots. Maybe not. The legs are a little bit thicker than I thought they were. Those are not sniper bots. Those are T3AA. I do love the mix of units. Would like to see a little bit more tanks in terms of those not Ascendants, those Harbingers. They're not tanks, they're assault bots. Close enough. T3 Whalers on station here, but unfortunately, there's a lot of flak, and it hurts a lot. That Whaler gets immediately dropped to half hit points. And in the west, how is it going? T3 Broadswords in the form of Team 1's Little going after Azathoth's comm. There is some, no, there was some flak, I think, at some point, and now the shield is going down. The comm for Tridora is dropping into the red, sub 3,000 hit points. 11,000 mass means that he has 5-star veterancy. Those bricks are being annihilated. We have ASF protecting those gunships, and it does not look good for Azathoth here in the west. I think, besides the push going on in the east and Wi-Fi retreating, this is the main fight going on. Tridor does escape with barely a couple hundred hit points left, trying to move, trying to dodge another missile inbound. The brick trying to catch up to him, drops into the hundreds, and there he goes. Team 1 has lost Tridora in the west and is now a tie game at 3v3. Wi-Fi will inherit everything in the west. Almost got out of range, but that one lonely brick, the hero brick, kills a comm with some assistance from a missile launcher, to be fair. And now it does look like Literal gets handed over that, which that makes a lot more sense because Literal is on that western side. And we have Wi-Fi dealing with this push in the east. And we have units all the way out from Azathoth's controlled units. These should really be under the control of Delhi. We have essentially the eastern front for Team 2 coming out from Delhi, the western front coming out from Azathoth, and then the middle we have a little bit of land forces, not a whole lot. They've been rerouted to ASF production and whatnot here, so he is air control. We should see a similar thing happen, except Wi-Fi is essentially the, air controlled admiral. And we have these loyalists going after those Harbingers and those Autumns. Unfortunately, with their EMP weapons, when they die, their AoE explosion on death, it stuns those Autumns, and that allows for enough firepower to come off of the remaining units to really force back the nice attack force coming out from Delhi. And Team 2 has done a considerable job of hampering Team 1's eco quite heavily. But Team 2's eco has also dropped as well. We saw some mass assassinations in the west by Wi-Fi. Lots of mass assassinations by Wi-Fi as well from that strap bomber. Lots of recovery. And what is this? We have T2 Rhinos all the way in the rear. I don't even see. Did they just go straight down the middle? Something must have happened with that. And all of these T2 units don't have any AA, but they've killed a lot of mass. Let's see, 9 kills, 10 kills, 9 kills. 9 kills. A lot of infrastructure has been taken out. Autumn's dealt with those very quickly, but still that is a lot to lose. So it's essentially put both teams relatively even in terms of mass collected by both teams or accumulated. We have over 500,000 for Team 2 and 400,500 for Team 1. So they're a little bit behind in that game. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win in this game. Again, 3 players left on both teams. Team 2 has lost their highest rated player in the game. Team 1 has lost one of their higher rated players. Team 1 is almost at the same amount of mass production as Team 2. It looks like it's again, it keeps hopping back and forth between who's in the lead. And Team 2 has a huge amount of map control. I would say 65, if not close to 70% of the map is at least under their influence or under their control. A huge amount of the map is owned by Team 2. Will it aid them? Will it not? You'll just have to keep watching to find out. And, of course, don't forget to comment down below who you think is going to currently win. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button down below the comments. Down below the video. That's above the comments. And, again, hit the share button if you think this one is worthy to share with anyone and everyone in your life, especially, and, of course, those animals of yours. A lot of loyalists here. We do see a couple of bricks. I would like to see the full transfer to brick production here coming out from Limes. Yesterday's video was a good example of me constantly hammering that down and like switch to bricks. Loyalists are fine. They're great units to have mixed in. They are not your main unit. You know, they have half the hit points in total that the bricks have, and the bricks are just far superior. The loyalists are good for a missile redirect, which is not a feature you see used a lot, but the deflection, it's same difference. Tomato, potato. Deflection, reflection, it's the same thing. But in the west, we see units inbound here from Team 2's Afterthought going after this little T1 PD facility. There is a T2 Mechs nearby. Will it get killed off? 10 hit points left. You just got to fire at it once. There it goes. You just got to fire at it once. We have a couple of T3 broadswords on station. There is one lightning tank in the mix. And those broadswords go, nope. I don't care if it's 1 or 1,000. I'm not engaging that fight. But it does look like Wi-Fi has handled his incursion mostly fine. He's starting to reestablish his front lines. There is a horde of bricks here to the west. Horde is a strong word. A gaggle. A squad. There is a squad of bricks approaching from the west here against Delhi. There are at least a sniper bot or 2. Here's a couple of sniper bots here. Spirit Strikers, is that what they're called? Yep, Spirit Strikers. Very interesting name. We have a couple of Autumns being defeated by broadswords. The air superiority starting to be a main point of contention here between Team 1 and Team 2. Team 1 focusing a little bit more on the gunship production, while Team 2 is more focused on the straight ASF production. And unfortunately here, if the ASFs from Little come in and assist, which they probably won't because they're already out of range, Team 2's Air Forces, maybe Little should come in and assist. Nope, it's just going to be a back and forth. The gunships really being the thing that's keeping Team 1 in this game, being able to run around, take out some mechs, take out some infrastructure here. The large force in the east definitely going to be very interesting. Wi-Fi is on the front lines. He has 8,700 mass killed and is almost up to his 10,000 milestone to get that 5th and final veterancy star on his little chest, so he can have the little square or whatever is used on those military uniforms. And so metal. The little squares are in place of metals, to be fair, depending on the dressing. Because it's, you have 30 metals on your chest, they just clang and they hurt and they're heavy, and it's just, no. Little squares, a lot easier. Oh, actually, they're, okay, yes, technically they're rectangles. They're not squares. But still, squares are also rectangles. But rectangles are not squares. I'm learning that in geometry class. I can just hear somebody making some comment about that. I mean, like, yes, I know they're technically not squares, but still. And we see in the west, the comm is going to hide in the water here for Azazoth. Very smart move. Hide out from radar. Doesn't want to be strat sniped or gunship rushed or whatever the case may be. And a nice contingent of forces in the east coming out against T1 PD. Of course, there are these Yenzi in their T2. They're not as expensive at T3. I would have liked to see a little bit more Ilshi production. The Yenzi are fine, and of course they have hover so they can go over the water, but I feel like Ilshis definitely would be more better, especially if you stay on land. More better. They'd be better than Yenzin. not as great in my opinion. But again, it's more use cases versus mainstream meta. You do see the Calm leading the charge here, is taking a decent amount of shots. I'm assuming that's from the sniper bots here. You can see a couple of shots kind of whiz by. Wi-Fi is retreating in a northeast direction, which means he's probably can easily hide in the water. ASF come in and cover him, at least nearby, and some gunships come and do the same thing. He wants this force to move northeastwardly, and the bricks are going to follow in from behind. And I would assume that their orders are to go after those sniper bots, those long-range units. Calm of Wi-Fi has gotten his 5-star Calm that he wanted. T2 Utashalas are being built, but easily going to get ran over here by this force. And Team 2's Deli is just going to force this down Wi-Fi's throat. And I feel like Wi-Fi is, that's what he wants. He wants this force to keep moving northward. The farther away they are from the supply lines and from the front line facility infrastructure, the harder it is for those units to retreat. You can see those bricks come in and start, picking off just stray units once in a while. Going after asylums, that's also nice. Taking out some AA, taking out a couple of Harbingers every once in a while. We even take out an Autumn as well. We even see them take out an Autumn. I'm not on Team 1. The wall is being built by Team 2's Azathoth. He's like, this is my territory. Stay out. And Team 1's like, why? I didn't want that anyways. You can see kind of the map control. You would draw a horizontal line down the middle. That'd be 50%. And you can see it's kind of not horizontal. It's more like a heartbeat. It's kind of up and then down and then up again. And Team 2 eventually will inherit a lot more mass per second. Oh, that's in storage. I was like, what is going on with the mass? We can see that per second, 1.1k versus almost 900. Team 2 is in the driver's seat for mass per second. I would not be surprised to see some brass comms being produced. We have an SMD built in the rear. Another T3 air facility online here for Team 2 is from Azathoth. We thought we was going to build it initially. Pigeons. I don't see any nuke launchers. It's approaching 30 minutes. We might see someone go nuke. Let's see. No, those look like nothing like that. In the rear, what do we got? A secondary air facility. Love to see that. We have a monkey load coming online here for limes. I think that'll be the first experimental, I believe. Oh, I found it. I was like, somebody's got to be producing a nuke, and somebody is literally with 441 mass income per second. He is building his nuke, and that's probably why Team 2 is building those SMD, and yep, that is probably the reason why. We have ASFs here for Team 1's literal, maybe trying to engage those Volthus, but don't want to fully commit into enemy territory. We do see, of course, the Calm of Wi-Fi continuously pushing southward, leading his men. Actually, he's leading himself. There's not really a lot of men around him. At least bring the T3 mobile shield with him. That's, how is that, 10,000 hit points. He can easily just go, nah, I'm not going to worry about it. It kind of worries me. At least one. Even if it's a T2 Asylum, if it's literally anything is better than nothing. Deli shield is about to drop. He doesn't have heavy. He has the initial one. He doesn't even have advanced range on that. It's not full A on Sniper Comm. ASF's thinking about engaging, possibly, maybe. Oh, there's the fight we were looking for. Team 1 and Team 2 are having that air fight with some assistance from Wi-Fi as well. We do see Better G forces will retreat. Team 1, oh, they're going to go back over. They'll take out Wi-Fi's forces. And they were flying over flak as well. I don't know if there are any T3 in there. I would assume there's I see a couple of T3 in there. So Team 2 definitely had the advantage in terms of the ground game. I think it's about the same. I think those were all of Wi-Fi's ASFs. And the nuke is launched here for Team 1's literal. And where is it going? Oh, it's going right here, dropping a little bit short of this position. The SMD was not loaded. It would have grabbed it, but there's no way he could have known that. In his eyes, it could have been built a minute ago or 10 minutes ago. He just doesn't know. Doesn't want to take the risk. He wants the nuke to land. Another SMD very far forward as well. There's an artillery base, and there are units in range. You gotta leave. I think those are trebuchet. No. Those are Gunthers. That nuke will land. It is from the UEF. It is in my opinion, the ugliest nuke in the game. Just a big giant fireball. Kaboom! I will say kaboom nonetheless, though. Drops the eco a little bit here for Team 2, allowing Team 1 to catch up just a little bit. Heavy shield now being built here for Deli. He does have advanced range. I must have missed that upgrade. And we do see, of course, Wi-Fi running around the explosion of Zelby. And we have some T2 torp bombers trying to kick Wi-Fi out of the water. He did get singed a little bit by those torps, but at 108 hit points a second at 5-star comm veterancy, he is repping up very quickly, and he is not going to be worried in the slightest here. We do see another attack here from some bricks outbound from his teammate of Limes, trying to force back these frontline units of Delhi, but there's a lot of shields between the asylums and the harbingers as well, and so that's really going to take a hamper on the bricks' ability to just chew through units very quickly. And they are doing a decent job against the harbs themselves, but again, when they come up with the asylums, that's another 3,500 hit points they need to chew through. And that does allow Team 2's Delhi to just push forward, but with some awesome support, it is not going well. They'll just run into the deaths, essentially. We have T3 shields protecting those Authams and bricks. The T3 units, the Harbingers, do engage and fall forward and on their faces, essentially. There's going to be a decent amount of mass on this field. Team 2 is in a poised position to grab it. Wi-Fi is nearby. He could be engaging them, but he's just going to keep it on the outs a little bit. His Monkey Lord, actually his teammate, has now built a Monkey Lord, and this position will now most definitely fall, even with the loss of so many units here before both teams. And those Harbingers are going to try to engage the comm. The lasers should be opening up against those Harbingers. The Harbingers go, oh no, but they don't. The Monkey Lord doesn't care because it's going after the comm directly. The comm of Delhi had the advanced shield on board, and unfortunately it's not going to be enough, and he is dead in the water. Team 2 has lost another player at 33 minutes and 33 seconds by Limes, and is now a 3v2 in favor of Team 1. This eastern front will start to collapse with the vacation or the excavation or the expulsion, whatever they already wanted to use, of Team 2's Delhi. Units from the western side of the east will have to push eastward to cover this position. We have Betaji going to now claim control over the eastern side. Of course, Azathos perfectly fine with continuing to build his wall all the way across the map. You can see units trying to build it all the way, but the mountains kind of serve as a natural barrier, so which is always nice to have. Less structures that you have to build, less mass you have to spend and all that. We have the bricks supporting the Monkey Lord. Monkey Lord very much in front, going to kill off a lot of engineers. There is a sniper bot nearby, and that sniper bot trying to get out of range, but it is not doing well. T1 bombers going to try to slow down the advance of that Monkey Lord, but that's not really going to work. Often's going to help and assist, but not all of them are in range. The bricks are eventually going to be killed off, and it does look like T1 bomber spam is now going to be used for defensive measures. The Monkey Lord has fallen into the red, sub 10,000 hit points, losing hit points by the second. Kills another Harbinger. T1 bombers are going to be able to solidify that kill. Bricks try to, just say, hey, you need to stay on the front line, Monkey Lord. Monkey Lord goes, no, I want to leave. ASFs for Team 1's Wi-Fi try to cover that Monkey Lord, but they're not doing a great job. The Monkey Lord trying to flee into the water. You need to keep that thing moving there, Limes. You're going to lose it. Sub 6,000 hit points, sub 5,000 hit points, and it's going back and forth. Sub 3,000 here pretty soon. Yep, there it is. Sub 2,500, sub 2. Oh, no, bombers are starting to be few and far between or vacate. The Monkey Lord will make it out, looks like. 85 hit points a second is not terrible for a Monkey Lord. And now drops below 3,000 once again, and this might be the final bombing run in this Monkey Lord's coffin. Is it going to be enough? Sub 1,000 drops back over to... it goes back and forth between 1,000, gets back over 1,000, and the last bombing run that was inbound from Team 2 gets shot down, which means that Monkey Lord is not dead. 31,000 mass killed on that Monkey Lord, and he is out of dodge. He's going to return back to base. Maybe he'll be Control K'd, who knows. But T2 torp bombers are inbound. They want that dead Monkey Lord to exist on the map, and ASF are called for to assist. The torpedoes are inbound. Oh, no. They're going after a T1 naval facility here instead. Monkey Lord now back up to 4,000 hit points. SMD says Nasimka. Yep, there is an SMD there. Very, very interestingly, it's placed in the middle of a build order here for a teammate. Definitely not the best place to put it, of course. Limes gets his hero Monkey Lord out of range, but now unfortunately a chicken is now defending the eastern side here for Team 2. And another nuke, this time out from somebody. Actually, it's out from Team 2's air player Betagy, and it's going for the western front, going for this position. Going to kill off a T3 land facility, a couple of support factories, maybe a couple of mass fabs. The SMD is loaded, unfortunately, though, for Team 2, and that will be shot down right about now. There it goes. It impacts it, takes out that missile. And Advanced Nano is on the way for him as well, so he can protect his coming. He has T2. He has RAS. I don't know if that's an A-RAS or not. Looks like a regular RAS. It could be a... I forget if Seraphim Comms can get Advanced RAS. That is Advanced RAS. The plus is the regular one. So we'll have Advanced RAS, Advanced Nano, and T2. He'll probably go T3 as well to just be super, super chunky. And that's really going to wrap up his hit points quite a lot to 35,000. Just... so many hit points on those commanders. So many. Now we have a counter chicken in the east. Both chickens are kind of just eyeing one another on the other sides of the battlefield. Another mass fab farm being produced by Wi-Fi wants to scale his eco. He's at 500. Azathoth's is at 900. And Betagy's at 800. Team 2 slightly in the lead, but it does look like Team 1 is catching up pretty quickly, as more and more mass points being converted to T2 and T3, at least the outlying ones. And, of course, more and more mass fabs are being just put everywhere. A horde of bricks is being produced by Limes, and he's going to create the very iconic brick wall that's going to crush anyone and everyone in his path. Nuke going after essentially T3 Mechs, and that one just finished upgrading, and this one is about to finish. Unfortunately, it may or... oh, let's see if it finishes or not. Because the nuke's going to land regardless of what happens. So it got up to 90%. It will finish off. So all of that mass and energy going into that T3 Mechs upgrade is... what's the word? Oh, yeah. Up in smoke. Or in this case, nuclear hellfire. There it goes. Kaboom! Takes out 4 T3 Mechs. That is a ton. That is 108 mass. Gone. Just wiped off the face of the map. And you're not getting that back unless you rebuild those facilities. And all the mass is also gone. And now another nuke is launching for Team 2. And it's going to the east this time for the land army that is now walking straight into that nuke. Definitely not the best place to sit those units there, Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's They moved to the west. It's a little too late. And there goes the nuke. The chicken will die off as well. A lot of T3 Awesomes are killed. That's going to be a huge hole in the defenses here on the eastern side. And Team 2 need to exploit it. 2 chickens and a bunch of T3 Harbingers with some asylums. That is some nasty amounts of units, and he needs to use this. The order, I think, has been given to move. I feel like Betagy here just get control of these units here from Azathoth and push in just together. But a lot of bricks will pose a decent threat to that push. And kind of interested to see what he does with this naval facility. That Monkey Lord is back in the yellow, 21,000 hit points, and that's not going to pop out of the water anytime soon until he's pretty close to full health. Another chicken in the west for some wall watching operations, some guarding of the border here in the west. Biplane mission going out from Wi-Fi to get a nice readout on what's going on for his opponent. We have a TAC missile launcher going after T3... yeah, going after T3AA. Trying to eliminate the amount of defenses that are online. A couple of Othams is not going to withstand the push of a bunch of Harbingers. And the chickens, surprisingly, aren't moving with the rest of those land units. Definitely a missed opportunity here. And a crab is under construction here. I love the I love the fact that there's one Cybern and a bunch of Seraphim for some reason. And the lines are going into the ground. The crabs rise from the ground, essentially. What is this? It's like trying to grow the crab, and it can't, so it's doing the best they can. Some reason that makes me laugh. I don't know why. The monkey pops out of the water. That was actually surprising to see. You would think it would just hide, but it didn't. And it just wants to keep these units at bay for now. A couple of Nathas over the top. Not going to do a whole lot. But anything is better than nothing, except if you have an Awasa, and that Awasa is inbound, and it has been given orders to retreat immediately. And since you've just told Team 2 that you have one, Sorry, Team 1 that you have one. Not the best idea. And that bomber is inbound, and those ASFs are flying right into it. Oh, it's not going to be good. There's some lightning tanks in there as well. Oh, ASFs need to turn for Team 1. The land army gets annihilated, but that bomber gets annihilated as well. The bomber does land on Team 2 side of things, so it's not that bad. An ASF fight will ensue between both teams. Who will win that fight? Oh, that was a large amount of ASFs that died for Wi-Fi, and Team 2's Betagy will gain control. Not full, not even control, I would say. Probably about even. There's a large force of ASFs to the west. Had those come and assisted, air dominance would definitely be under team, but would be the moniker I would give them for Team 1. But looks like those ASFs are protecting something else. A now satellite is online. And if Team 2 starts to build those YOLOs, and those satellites can easily be used to protect against those missiles. A lot of assistance is going down for that nuke. It's killed off 33,000, and the nuke for Team 1 has killed off 75,000. So Team 1 has a better, I don't know what their average is. I think they launched 2 nukes. And both landed. Team 2 landed 1 nuke. I think they landed 1 nuke, but still 1 nuke for 33,000 or 37 or whatever the number is. 37, 33, that's pretty good. The crab now on the front lines trying to kill off those harbingers before they come into range of all the other units. Of course, the harbingers trying to claim the wreck for that downed bomber, and they have the engineering suite on board, which means they can reclaim, which are, you know, very nice for Aeon players, very annoying for everybody else if they are not being used by that team. And a Monkey Lord will come and assist, and the Horde. The Horde hand of bricks has appeared. We see the 2 land experimentals with the Cyberns, and we see the land experimental for the Seraphim. All we need to see is the UEF land experimental for Team 1, and all of them will have been built. I wouldn't be surprised if there are FAF. Oh, they're over there anyways. Look at that. As I'm talking about them. A lot of action has been, to be fair, I've been focusing on the east, because a lot of it's a lot of back and forth. The west is kind of just, you build a wall, you kind of hang back and relax. It's not very exciting. Another nuke is launching, going after that brick wall. Oh, and those bricks gotta just charge. They either charge or fully retreat. They break up. Different groups of them go into. Everybody scatter, scatter. Well, these groups of bricks are just gonna keep pushing, and that crab is not gonna feel pretty good after this. That is a lot of bricks to die. Kaboom! Oh, that's at least 2/3 of that brick force is gone in a flash, and that is a lot. That is a lot of units that just went, just bye-bye. And how much mass has that nuke killed? Let me see. 33,000 to 105. 70,000 mass was killed with 1 nuke, and they were all bricks, I think. I think I saw mostly bricks. It might have been a couple other units, but still, 1 crab versus 2 chickens. Especially with shield support, we have bricks coming in. Some reserve bricks are inbound to help assist with dealing with that chicken. The ASF for Team 2 will either. Oh no, they'll stave off the ASF from Team 1. But those chickens are, if they're going to charge that crab, which they will be able to kill off the crab, but a chicken from Team 1 will definitely augment the amount of firepower. Be able to hold off a decent amount. The Monkey Lord does die in the east, holding off those harbingers. The chicken will actually retreat, and both chickens will die almost simultaneously here for Azathoth. And another nuke is launching Team 1. Where are you putting it now? Going after the mass. That is, has that already landed there before? That's already landed there before. I don't think a comm died there. So that's another, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Team 3 Mechs is going to be down. What is that math? That's a 4 were 108 at 27. That's 135. 135 mass per second killed off in a flash. We see multiple artillery here for Team 2. Let's see, it was 1 coming out from this direction. Here it is, a second one being built. I saw one from the west. So both of the remaining players on Team 2 have gone for Team 3 artillery. And of course, kaboom! Takes out that position of mass as well. So in terms of the mass per second, Team 1 is actually in the lead at 2.3 versus Team 2's 1.9k. And of course, we see bricks trying to charge straight forward, but there's a lot of Air Force, there's a lot of T3 Authams. There's also some Utashalas being spammed up. Obviously, they're going after the Hovertham. They might be able to reach the base. I don't think they'll do much damage. There's a lot of firepower here. There's a lot more being built every second of the day. All those ASFs for Team 2 have been eliminated. Team 1 has not only... Well, no, never mind. No. It looks like Team 2's Azathoth has built a nice Air Force here in the West. 224 versus Literal's 210. Pretty comparable. And we have, of course, the ASS from Wi-Fi. And it's not really looking good here for either. I mean, either team could gain air control, and that would be devastating for both teams, depending on who got it. But there are a lot of artillery going after that nuke, and it has taken a hit. 85,000 mass killed by that one nuke launcher. 5-star structure, getting 30 hit points a second. The shield surrounding the satellite is down. So that's not good. That's a lot of mass invested into that. Where is that? Oh, that satellite's down here. Go after the T3 mechs is trying to eliminate the mass income with those. That's what's I see used a lot, unless they use for some SMD. But a huge section of that mass FAF grid goes up in smoke. That's got to hurt the eco for Team 1 as well. Drops it actually a decent amount. We saw 2.3, now it's down to 1.8. That's the downside with mass fabs, at least in terms of mass fab farms like that. One goes up, that's about it. But the Scathis is coming online. Does Team 2 know about it? They know nothing. They know it's a large group of T3 engineers. They could just be building crabs. They don't know, and they gotta know. The Fat Boys have broken the wall a little bit, and the incursion is starting to occur in the west. Looks like one of the Fat Boys was possibly killed off. I don't know. There is a bug running around over there to the west as well. Team 2 could use some donuts, but I don't think anyone's building donuts. I think they're focusing on Seraphim Tech. But, I mean, to be fair, Seraphim Tech is pretty good. But we have another brick wall coming in. That's not going to get through, especially with a chicken nearby. We have a chicken in the east fighting a chicken. Another chicken. Wi-Fi's chicken is severely wounded, but we do see a lot of firepower coming off the Otham, so it might be a murder-suicide situation going on. A couple of Volthus are nearby, just receiving some flak fire, which is never great. You just see ground units being hit by AA because they're just sitting down on the job. And the chicken, don't think it'll be macroed fastly in time, dropping below 10,000, and the Ion Storm will immediately kill that thing off. So it is, again, a murder-suicide ASF fight in the west. It looks like Team 1 has lost a considerable amount of their ASF. I don't know what happened, but there's a lot of AA in the area, actually from multiple bouncers, and maybe even some I don't see some T3 static emplacements. But Team 2 will have air control, not necessarily dominance, but definitely air control. And they are now going after the air grids to limit the ability for Team 1 to build up an air force to fight them. Unfortunately, here for them, it is not really the concern of Team 1 to build ASF. They are building a experimental launcher in the form of those nasty little watering cannons from the Cyberns, those Scathis. Another nuke launching to the west. Going to take out a couple of T3 mexes. Not really worth it. There are a couple of clink cameras up here, but that's mainly for defense. That's not really a problem as of right now, so doesn't really look like that is the idea. But a lot of spy planes going into the west trying to find out what's going on for Team 1. I don't know if they found out about that scat. No. Well, they can hover over it, but they can't see anything. Ping's going down. Azathoth making comments about what should be targeted. They're building a Duke as well. That's also almost done. But once they know about that Scathis, it's going to be not great for Team 1. They need shields. Shields. Everyone build shields. Shield, please. I don't like seeing experimentals die like this, just because you don't have any shields. I like to see outplaying the enemy with a bunch of strats or gunships, or teleporting in with Thybrin telemaser comms. But the spy planes are just hanging out up here. They do know of the Scathis existence. It hasn't been given its little text icon, but you can input that little oh, there's an SMD there, or oh, there's a whatever there. But they will know the Scathis existence now that artillery is landing around the airbase here for Azathoth. That is going to hurt. Legions are taking a decent amount of fire. Of course, Cybern structures get a passive regen. It's better than nothing, but it's something. The SMD are being the ones, kind of not feeling great. And the Duke goes down. But the SMD stays online. So that... Oh, nope. I was like almost spoke too soon. Is the SMD gone? No, I think it's fine. The shields around the Scathus have gone down as well. And he's going to just build a Yolana Oz right next door. Because why not? Why not? Why not? You don't have shields. Your enemy team has artillery. And your enemy team still hasn't noticed that well, it's online. And it does get pinged in the smiley face. Like, hey guys, there's a thing there. You should probably look out for it. You know, it does it does pop back on. The reason I said like pop and link at the same time. The air grid is just decimated for Azathoth. Even the SMD is down, and now they're targeting the dual artillery emplacement here in the west and the east. Looks like that position has already been destroyed. Either it was probably destroyed. Yep, it was destroyed. Artillery fire raining around. They are building a Awasa, which is, it can go after that position. But the more shields that come online, they ping it. They'll obviously know about the YOLO as well. And it's not really going to feel too good here for Team 2 as the time goes on. The longer this is a problem, the worse it is for them. They gained some ground with that T3 artillery, but the T4 artillery is just ripping them to shreds. Because, it's a watering can. So, you pour enough water on something, eventually it will drown. And in this case, a bunch of artillery, eventually the shields will collapse. And the Awasa, makes it out. It is built, surprisingly. I didn't think it would actually get built. The SMD goes down as well. The good thing that was out of range. The nuke did go down for Team 1 as well, so neither team has nukes for now. Neither team has a lot of SMD either, but that's kind of bad because Team 1 is building a YOLO, so yeah. Might want to get on that. And the artillery position here in the south is now being targeted. 3 artillery online, which I think should be enough to punch through this one shield. It is getting a lot of assistance, so it might take pretty coordinated effort. If you can maybe get a pigeon or two outside of the range of the shield, that might be enough to knock out most of its capacity. But I don't really know. Taking out some engineers also helps, and taking out some defenses also helps. But I feel like Team 2 might need to bring the old, teleporter comm in, laser it to death kind of thing. And Azathoth is the only one who can do that. He still has the eco to do it if he wanted to do it. 685 mass per second and a bunch of energy. Well, let's see. Would that be, if he could do it right now, would he do it? Let's see. The teleporter, he does have enough energy per second to do it. And the laser, he definitely has enough energy to do it. So if you want to do it, now is the time. Azathoth, you got to do it before defenses are rebuilt. There is a chicken. There is a crab. Of course, there's the comm. You could go for a comm kill. That'd be pretty nice. But, again, the longer this goes on, the more likely this position will be solid. So the artillery, it's just barely dropping it. I think he needs one more. The bomber is inbound. It will crash land as well. 2 bombers are inbound. There they are. The Awasa breaks through the shielding with the assistance of the artillery. The YOLO that was being built also was taken out. So that is devastating here for Team 1. This game is back at it. I was focusing on that, talking about the ways that Team 2 could break through it, and they were just like, throw some bombers at it, call it good. And that is literally what happened. There were some chickens in the east moving up. And apologies for not noticing that a little bit sooner. Of course, I saw the bomber being built. And I saw it built and saw it run off, but didn't see where it went. But that is a decent amount of mass. That's 30-something mass to scoop up. Overrun by Torp, says Nuggets. Over there in the northeast, because why not? Maybe they're looking for a comm that's hiding in the water. But now the artillery is going very, very strong here for Team 2. The shields, we're suffering a decent amount. A couple of pigeons were almost down. But it does look like they're building another one. A 4th artillery is coming online here for Team 2's Azathoth. He did not have to resort to the teleport telemazer. He does have some strat bombers in the back for reserve as well. Torps going after some AA defenses because, again, why not? And we see the chicken with some Torps on board. Of course, those Othams inbound for those 2 chickens. And those 2 chickens are are actually able to be spotted because, you know, we can see you. Your head is sticking out of the water. You gotta, guys, guys, you're not stealth 0. Critical failure on critical fail on stealth check. That's essentially what that is. That might be the text for the thumbnail, just because it's like the head's just popping out of the water, kind of like with that little bamboo tube that you would put if you hide just under the surface of the water so you can still breathe. That kind of reminds me of that, except your whole head is visible. They are going for this northeast position, which kind of has a couple of T3 mexes. It does have some mass FAF farms and the like, but there's not really a lot of vital infrastructure. They're building a bug, because why not? All the there it goes. I was like, it should almost be done, and they do build it. Team 1, they have that experimental online now, but this is, again, this is the crown jewel for Team 2. A 4th artillery emplacement is coming online. They have grabbed the victory from the jaws of defeat. They were about ready to die, but 2, you know, Awasans came in and crushed that and said, no. No soup for you. No. And we have T3 strap bombers going after those chickens. Lots of distraction here for Wi-Fi. It'll be provide a nice amount of mass, though, to scoop up. There are some facilities nearby to produce those engineers. First chicken is down. And all these ground units will probably die to the ion storms, but they want to kill the chickens, and I don't blame him, because those will just be annoying. And we are now approaching the 1 hour mark in this game. Not necessarily for the recording. We're already over that at this point. We're a little bit over an hour. We do see a couple of experimentals in the middle for Team 1's limes. A crab having a very rough discussion with a chicken. And a bug going straight in for those defenses. And for that artillery. But will not get very much. Takes out 2 shields, though. And a couple of engineers. So, it's not really worth the mass cost, to be fair, because 15,000 mass versus 1,500 mass left, not really worth it. Stop with the glitch. It's somebody, please tell me somebody's gonna fix that glitch, because it's annoying. I mean, 1 isn't bad when you have like 4 or 5 of them down there. It's like, stop it. Couple of crabs breaking through the wall. Unfortunately, they are noticed. Actually, the Awasa doing a lot of work taking out said wall. ASFs, that should be enough to kill this bomber, though. So that is going to hurt. One of the annoying things is I can't see percentages if they're building something with that glitch there. So that's why I hate it so much. One of the reasons why I hate it. It's also just annoying. You know, nice, pristine kind of, you know, bottom section of the screen, and it's just one little square telling me some information. It does tell you a lot, to be fair, but still, I don't need to know about it. I'm a caster. I mean, it's nice to know in those very use cases, but I don't need to know right now. So don't tell me. And those T2 Ascendants are just going to just feel the pain of some friendly fire in the form of that Ion Storm. Team 2, I mean, they're still wrecking anything and everything here. Team 1 hasn't really had a way to fight back against that, you know, quad artillery battery. And at this point, I don't think they have much. They do have Wi-Fi and Limes' comms for some telemaser nonsense. And they could teleport, and they're building a 5th one, because why not build a 5th one? Because why not? Why the heck not? They could teleport down here. There's not really a lot of this Team D on the east. There's a monkey now building in the north. And they could put it right here, go after at least a couple of them, and then teleport right back out. But with that chicken nearby, it makes it kind of dangerous. And we have those crabs. I think that's going to be the main force that Limes is going to use. A long line of engineers going to just scoop up anything and everything. There is a crab and a chicken on their way to intercept those 2 crabs. And it's not really going to go well for those. There is one fat boy trying to force back these units. A lot of spam here. There's a bunch of engineers trying to scoop up anything and everything of value. Team 1, in terms of mass per second, are at 1.8. Team 2 at 1.2. They are really suffering. Is that a power thing? No? Okay. Not a power thing. That's the actual number. Okay. For some reason, I thought that was in, you know, when you don't have enough power, it reduces the amount of mass you can produce per second, but it just feels like that's a really low number, considering the amount of land that they control. But Team 1 is really pumping out anything and everything that they have. A nice contingent of some Harbingers and the first, I believe, Colossus in the entire game. 59 minutes in, G goes, oh, I have Aeon Tech. I should build the Colossus, because why not? And that's going to be a great help in the East. Of course, he's scooping up T1 Medusa, which aren't really the best thing for its talents, but they're producing more and more bugs, which, I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Another bug here as well. Those crabs were dealt with very... Actually, they left. They just said, see ya, bye. We have one crab for Team 2, and then a bug go, nope. And those look like the ASFs. Oh, nope. They get out of... They turn around just at the last second. Don't know what that says. And now they're targeting the satellite, which is still online. Out of all of this time, a Duke is online, which is why it's now receiving a lot of firepower. And more shields are being built. T3 variety. At this point, under 4 artillery barrages, might as well just build T2 to get them up. And we do see more of them coming back online. That is a lot of sustained firepower going down. You need a lot of engineering support to really just deal with this. Oh, shields collapsing very, very quickly. Quad shield, very common. Oh, and there it went. Yep. Figured eventually it would die. I wanted to catch it on screen. And Wi-Fi is defeated by Azathroth. He did exactly what I thought he would do. He went to the west. He was killed off, but he took out one of... Actually, he took out technically 2 because there was one being built. But he took out one of the 3 artillery emplacements. Almost took out the rest of them. If he just needed one more Pigeon, he probably would have got the rest of them killed off. But that is now a 2v2 game here for Team 1 and Team 2. They each have 2 players left. Team 1 lost their highest rated player in that gamble. Now more defenses will be built up to defend. There also was a bug and strap bombers and T1 Pigeons. T1 bombers and T2 Utashalas. So there was a lot of defenses already there. Apologies for missing it. I don't think Team 2 has any power issues. Definitely does not have any power issues, so it will take a while for those shields to just pop back offline. Limes has control of everything that Wi-Fi did, and Literal is still trying to defend his Duke, which, to be fair, is still online, and I think those artillery are focused on other endeavors at this point. Oh, looks like some ASF got targeted. Ouch. Looks like he's going... I don't know what he's going after. SMT, possibly? There's 5 anti-nuke missiles loaded in that clip. Don't know what he's going after particularly. And the rest of the artillery gets taken out by Team 1. I don't know what it was. I didn't see what it was, but it wasn't the solar burst because they approached later. And all the artillery fire for Team 2 goes down. Pigeons go down very quickly, losing a lot of that energy production. And Azathoth's comm is targeted. ASFs come in and protect those gunships. And those bugs are coming after him hard. They do not want him to get underneath shield coverage. And he is going to die very, very quickly. And there he goes. Team 2 loses another player, and it's now a 2v1 in favor of Team 1. It had been strap bombers or something, maybe gunships. It's just weird because it got through all the defenses, and there was really not an AA between the north and the south. Fine, so maybe, but it was just weird because I went over here to look, and then I was like, oh, they're gone. Oh, there's gunships over here. Maybe they turned back around. Maybe, that's the only thing I can think of. But they looked pretty healthy, though. We have we have spy planes chasing the gunships. And now a Yolana Os was being built, and that thing is going to die very quickly. The first gunship out of 3 is fallen. Solar Ripper trying to pierce the shields. That Solar Ripper is going to crash. It is now a 2v1. Team 1 needs to kill this off. That Solar Ripper is not going to survive until it takes out that Yolana Os. Crash lands, takes out some of the hit points, but not a lot. Team 1 now has a devastating thing to deal with. That YOLO is coming online. The Colossus from the east a long time ago makes its way to the north. It's going after shields. There is an SMD that he probably should go after. Isn't being rank-road as much because other endeavors are giving his attention. A lot of stuff got killed off in the east. And Team 2 now has a huge problem to deal with. They do have 2 Dukes online, and if those things are not targeting the YOLO, I do not know what they're doing. The YOLO is almost completed. It does say 77%, but that is in terms of hit points. The percentage complete is going to be right... There it is. It's going to be right now. We have 2 crabs inbound, and with the assistance with that artillery and the amount of hit points still left on those crabs, that thing is not going to survive any longer. Pigeon will kill the rest of this off. All the engineers will die. And by sat win, he killed 100,000 mass. That is a lot of mass killed by a satellite. Nah, big. The satellites are OP. I mean, yeah, they kind of. I mean, they're not super OP, but they're kind of OP. But that does cause Bettergy to control K. I don't blame him. That was his last move, his trump card in this game. Once that was gone, it was essentially just the beginning of the end. And after an hour, more than an hour of playing, he's like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to leave. And Team 1 wins that game with 2 players left standing. And thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Please like the video. Please subscribe down below. Please comment down below what your favorite moment is. Hit that share button. And let's get on to the awards for this game for MVP/MUP. Probably will be more MVP, but we'll see if MUP does come into play. In terms of MVP, I mean, Team 2 not having Team 2 not having an Air Force for a while, definitely don't know what the heck they were talking about or dealing with that. They needed someone to go air, and they just didn't have one for a while. I mean, I don't think anybody had a T2 air facility by the time that Wi-Fi had a T3. So definitely miscalculation in that realm. They did come back very heavily and gain air control and all of that, but Team 1 kept pushing it. They used more of the gunship plays, being very aggressive with their air forces. Team 2 being more defensive with it. We did see that dual bomber rush come in and take out the YOLO and the Scathis that was being built. Definitely a good play. Of course, we had the quad, almost 5 artillery battery here coming out from Azathoth. So a lot of good plays back and forth. But in terms of MVP, I feel like, it's hard because Limes has a good candidacy for it. We have Literal has a good candidacy for it. He kept the West, but he was more of the defensive. I'm going to build some artillery. I'm going to build a nuke. I'm going to build a satellite. And I feel like Wi-Fi and Limes did a little bit more of, punching through a little bit more. To be fair, Literal did a good job here in the West. But is essentially he was kept back by Azathoth for a very, very long time. I feel like maybe Limes gets the credit for it. He had a bunch of incursions with some, experimentals. We saw some in the West. We saw some in the East. His microing underneath some nuke barrages. Definitely not that you can't predict exactly where the other player put the nuke. So it was kind of unfortunate. At least one of the times where we see like 2/3 of his brick force just go boop and it's gone. So yeah, it wasn't super great. But Bettergy did a great job on the East, so did Delhi, and so did Azathoth in the West. So everyone did a great job, but I think Limes just ekes it out just a tiny bit. He took over from Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi came in and took out some of the shields, some of the artillery, and then Limes came in and dealt the final blow. At least I think it was, I would assume it was Limes. I don't know who, I don't think Literal had that. Again, I was over here, and by the time I look, all of it's gone, so it must have been from artillery is what I would assume. Either that's what I would assume, or it was those bugs that came in and assisted that taking out in the West. And essentially, once this fell very quickly. Even though the bugs didn't kill it off, the crabs did. So I feel like Limes gets the credit for the MVP. Let me know down in the comments if you feel the same way. And again, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video, and I will see all of you in the next one.